Alright, today guys, for my family for dinner tonight, I'm going to make Creole sausage, beans, and rice. And this is the demo because you're going to make it in class. So you're going to need a saucepan, frying pan with a lid because it's going to splash up. You're going to need a little bit of olive oil, which actually you are just going to coat your pan with. Then you're done with the olive oil. You're going to need a package of, I use sweet Italian, sausage, ground sausage, or you can use the links. In class we'll use the ground. You're going to need a green pepper, an onion. You're going to need Creole seasoning. You're going to need brown rice or white rice, whatever your preference is. I use brown rice. I buy it in the bag. This is not the quick cook rice. It is more cost effective to buy it this way, but it does take about 45 minutes to cook it. This is what I will use. In class, we'll use the quick minute rice. You're going to need red beans or kidney beans. Again, I buy them in the bag and then I soak them in water for a 24-hour period. It is, again, more cost effective to do it that way. Or you can just put 1 can of beans in. I have already pre-soaked these, so these are my beans all ready to go. And then you're going to need a little bit of salsa, and that's kind of just to taste. So to get started, I'm going to carefully, I'm going to take my meat in my pan over here, away from where I'm cutting vegetables. I'm going to open my package of meat, and I have already washed my hands, guys. Make sure, I'm putting this in the trash, make sure that you get the paper that's off the back, put it in the trash, put your meat in your pan. Don't touch anything, okay? Turn your water on without touching it, get some soap. Wash your hands really well. Why? Foodborne illnesses, foodborne bacteria. I just handle raw meat. Get underneath my fingernails and around my fingers. Really clean. Hot water. Cut that. Alright, so I already put the olive oil in my pan and I put the meat, and now I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of the Creole mix. Now this is spicy stuff and I just put my finger in it. Do not put your finger in your eye. You will burn it up. Alright, so I'm going to measure out 1 tablespoon. If a little extra gets in there, that's fine. Just kabam! Give you some spice in it. Alright, now I'm going to brown this. Turn my stove on, my eye, and I'm just going to brown it in here. Now it's sausage and I put a little bit of olive oil in it, so it's going to start cooking up pretty quickly. I'll turn it back to medium, and I'm going to want to keep this close by the top because it's going to splash up grease and I don't want to get that on me. Now, again, you are dealing with meat and bacteria, and you're dealing with the potential for a grease fire, so you need to be cautious. Alright, now, while your meat is browning, you need to get your rice started, okay? You follow whatever the directions are on the rice that you are using. The rice that I use is 2 cups of rice to 4 cups of water, and that will yield about 4 cups of rice. So you want whatever is going to make 4 cups of rice, and that just kind of depends on your rice. So 2 cups of rice, 4 cups of water. You can cut that. Alright, now while your meat is browning, you need to get your rice started, okay? You follow whatever the directions are on the rice that you are using. The rice that I use is 2 cups of rice to 4 cups of water. And that will yield about 4 cups of rice. So you want whatever is going to make 4 cups of rice. And that just kind of depends on your rice. So 2 cups of rice, 4 cups of water. So once I've prepared the rice, I'm going to put the top on it and put it on the eye. My rice cooks on high for about 5 minutes, and then I put it on simmer for about 45 minutes. I'm not going to take the top off, okay? And I want you to notice the handles are definitely away from the front of the stove. They're turned towards the back, and I'm not going to use these burners, so they're okay the way they are now, okay? Now, I mentioned earlier, I'm cooking meat. There's grease in it, and it's sausage. So there's always the potential for a grease fire. In the event that we had a grease fire, okay, the first thing you would do, okay, turn the eye off, take it off the heat. Keep it covered, okay? If it wasn't covered, you would want to cover it, because what? We're going to smother it. We're going to smother it. We could also douse it with salt, or remember, BS, baking soda. And those are always handy in your school kitchen. But I'm not going to have a grease fire tonight. That's good. So I'm going to keep my sausage cooking, okay? Let the sausage brown. I'm going to keep my rice on. And I'm going to check this periodically. All right, now when cooking, it's important to be able to multitask. I started my sausage browning, then I put my rice on, okay? While that's cooking, I'm going to chop my green pepper and my onion, okay? Again, and I've already washed this. Cut the top of the green pepper off, take out the inside, the seeds, okay? Put that in the trash, all right? And cut around the stem here. Put the stem in the trash. You're not going to want that, okay? Then you're just going to slice and chop, okay? And it kind of depends on what size pieces you want, all right? To cut a green pepper, you're going to have it like this. I've cut the top off, and then you just slice through it like this. Then that makes it a lot easier. And then I just kind of take my pieces like so. Now to cut the onion, you need to get the skin off. So I cut the 2 ends off, put that in the trash, and then carefully peel the skin off. And put the skin in the trash. All right, now I do it like this. I cut it in half, and then I turn them both flat side down. I hope I don't start crying. And at school, I will come around and monitor each one of you as you do this. All right, so my sausage is brown. It's completely brown. You don't want to have any pink, okay? Once that's done, this is the easy way to do it. I'm going to pick up my cutting board. Carefully add that. Then I'm going to dump my beans. This is about half a bag or 1 can. Dump my beans in. All right. And then I'm going to add a little bit of salsa. Now, my recipe calls for 2 tablespoons. I just kind of eyeball it. And again, you might want more. That's probably a little more than 2 tablespoons. Put that in. Turn the temperature down. Stir that up. Some good eating. So I'm going to cover this and put it on low. Let that just kind of simmer for a little while. Pretty much until my rice is finished. And my rice is going to take another half an hour. And then I'll dump the rice into here, and we're ready to eat. Right, my rice is cooked and my Creole is cooked. In the recipe, I say to dump the rice in here and just mix it together. I probably don't have room for that. So what I'm going to do is, there's 3 of us tonight for dinner. I like to serve this in bowls, big bowls. So I'm just going to put some rice in each bowl. And this is plenty for a family of 4 or 5, the amount that we made tonight. I'm going to have extra. And then I'm just going to put some of this right on top. And I tasted this with the 2 tablespoons of Creole. It's pretty spicy. So if you don't want it quite as spicy, or maybe only do 1 tablespoon of the Creole. And if you want to kick it up a notch even after that, add some more. All right, the other thing I want you all, so it's plenty for 4 people, all right? The other thing I want you all to think about is I want you to calculate the cost of this meal for a family of 4. We pretty much had the sausage, the rice, the beans, a green pepper, and an onion. And I want you to calculate how much that would be to feed a family of 4. Had some other, the Creole, and a little bit of the salsa, but those are just minor ingredients and you use such a minuscule amount. So it's primarily the sausage, 1 green pepper, 1 onion, a bag of rice, and 1 can or a half a bag of beans. Enjoy!